All right. Thank you everybody for making it out today. Today we're going to be talking about Hearth and our journey throughout these 10 weeks and how much we've learned. And just to give a bit of backstory, we all joined in this group as people who selected decentralized applications as our first choice. And if you guys don't know what that is, no worries. I will explain it later. But essentially, we wanted to create this D app as our first choice. And it was funny because our first meeting, we all came in and we were like, we don't know what a D app is, but we chose that as our first choice. So
You just have to
yeah.
trust Alex. That's all you have
Yeah.
to do. Close your eyes, trust
what?
your life with Alex. That's all you require.
Yeah, and that's the reason why we chose it. We were like, we know what a mobile app is, we know what a website is, but we don't know what this is, so we're gonna do this. So that was the mentality we went in with, and yeah, it was an amazing journey. So we're excited to share that with you guys. Real quick, so I'm Shri, I'm the product lead.
Everyone, my name is Justin. I'm a product engineer.
What's up? I'm Pierre. I'm also a product engineer.
I'm Nathan. I'm also a product engineer.
What's up, guys? I'm Kai, and I'm our data analyst.
Hi, everyone. I'm Aiden, and I'm the product designer.
And we have our wonderful mentor, Alex Duffy.
Okay, so this is really our origins, and I think as Shri mentioned, I think it's a bit ironic that our first choice was really what we were worst at. But I also think it really shows that we're ambitious. We were going to choose the project that we were going to learn the most from. But I also think that's pretty scary, right? We have 10 weeks to build a fully fledged application on a topic that we knew nothing about, and we were going to have to use technologies that we're equally clueless with. But with that determination, we really started researching, and I'm going to hand it off to Pierre, kind of describing that process.
So yeah, as we headed into the first couple weeks of the internship, we called that our learning phase, as we did not directly start developing our application, but we instead focused on kind of getting our bearings, as well as finding which tools we needed to accomplish our goals. So the first order of business was trying to find our project. We originally had 3 ideas, so a video game using some part of the blockchain, a collection of auto-generated NFTs, and finally an NFT analytics tool. Alex suggested that the analytics tool would be the most commercially viable, but also the most difficult to accomplish. So we all unanimously agreed upon that idea, and we started preparations to accomplish it. We had as much information about blockchain as everyone in the audience today, so we strove first to understand what we were even building. The blockchain is essentially just a glorified list of transactions. And what's interesting to us are NFT transactions, or non-fungible tokens, which means just that they're unique digital things. They're very similar to physical art, as each piece is unique and they can be bought, sold, traded, whatever you want. The last thing we had to figure out was collaboration tools. We had to learn how to use Discord for communication, Gather for bi-weekly meetings, as you can see a typical meeting in the top right, Notion to organize documents, sprints, meeting notes, and finally GitHub for a central base for our code. In the bottom right, you can see how young we were and inexperienced as I tried to commit directly to master and was met with don't commit directly to master.
Okay, so we're building a analytics website, right? And an analytics website is only as good as the data we have. And so that's why we spent a lot of time trying to figure out what API we're going to use. And APIs, these are the places where we're going to get our data. So the 3 APIs that we found were quite promising was Infura. And Infura is what we call an on-chain API. So as Pierre mentioned, blockchain is a secure list of transactions. Infura lets us look onto those transactions. But what happened was there's just way too much data to process. So we went over, we looked at Blocksy. Now, Blocksy was great because it had some aggregations and some statistics already, but we found that it didn't give us enough flexibility. So what we landed on at the very end was OpenSea. OpenSea is the oldest and largest NFT marketplace. And so we found that they had good data, accurate and easy to access, and it was very close to that source, right? It was right at the market. And now I'm going to pass it off to our next presenter.
Thanks, Kai. So this is our project foundation. We got all that research. We figured out what API we're going to use. Now it's actually putting it onto a website, onto a tech stack, right? And so our tech stack was Django for the backend, and Django is essentially just a Python web framework with many out-of-the-box features to make our servers. For our database, we decided to use PostgreSQL. This is something that AI can't use this, we believe, and so we wanted to get experience with that. And then for our front end, we decided to use React. It's basically a front end framework that's component based and has like been rising popularity. So we thought might as well. And here on this video, this was actually our first ever like thing we made. This is called the OpenSea API, and it's displaying that data on a Django server. It's kind of like our proof of concept. It was like all this research put into our very first thing, and it was really exciting.
All right, so not only do we need a technological foundation, but we also need a vision for the project. And this is when we started doing a lot of market research and developing our project spec. Our project spec contained 4 main iterations of our product. The first one being our MVP, which was our primary focus for these 10 weeks. And it contained a foundational website with basic analytics. And this included one page where users can go and find the basic analytics of NFTs and make some smart decisions about them. Now, the next one was P0, which we're currently working towards. And this is more of a complete analytics tool. And we wanted to really create something where users can get any type of data they want to make any decisions they need to, right? And then the last 2 are P1 and P2, which is NFT new releases and NFT news. This allows users to, look at anything going on in the NFT world and really have all that information. And basically the overall goal was to create an NFT hub to basically have our website as the one thing that users go to for anything NFT they want to know about. And so now we implemented, we're going to talk about our implementation of our MVP. I'll pass it off to Nathan.
All right, so by week 4, we had a very bare bones website running. One of the things on our website was a table of the NFT collections along with some stats about them. We also had 2 different graphs about an NFT collection at specific points in time.
So as our website evolved and as our vision for the website evolved, so did our logo. So originally we wanted like a very professional logo, something very slick, but over time we realized that we didn't want to just apply to appeal to people who are experienced with NFTs. We want to appeal to everyone. So that's why we switched our logo to Hearth, because we want something like welcoming and something very warm for everyone, like a fireplace. So that's also why we switched the name from Stack NFT, which sounds like a very technical and complicated name, to something a lot simpler like Hearth, because Hearth is a lot more welcoming, which is what we want our users to feel.
Yeah, and as our logo and kind of our name progressed, our website also progressed. So you see in the top left image, that was our initial website iteration, and we slowly progressed to add more features, like for example, a sorting feature where you could sort from descending and ascending, a time interval prototype where you could see data, in the past 10 minutes or past 30 minutes or even an hour. And we go on to the next slide. We kept building up more and more. We got a search bar, we got images on the table, and then we started adding more time intervals, like 1 day and 3 days. And then we even got a collection info page prototype going. At this stage, we were getting really excited. And personally for me, I was like, it felt really cool because I was surrounded by 5 other people who were just like as excited as me to make something cool. We didn't want to just make some random resume project. We wanted to actually make something cool, and I could have felt that through the gather screen and the Discord. So it was awesome.
As our website evolved, so did our graphs. All these graphs were made using Plotly, but for the first graph, we made Plotly in Python. We made the graph in Python, and we were trying to get familiar with the Plotly library. As we transitioned into web dev, we got to make bar graphs of our data, but we found the bar graphs very visually unpleasing. So we eventually transitioned into a line graph for our data.
So how do you things over time, over these past 10 weeks? So in the beginning, we all had like a really strong foundation in programming, but beyond that, we were clueless. We didn't know blockchain, we didn't know cryptocurrency, we didn't know NFTs, we didn't even know how to deploy a website. But throughout the course of our project, we created a Django backend and a React front end, which are crucial skills that employers in the industry are looking for. And we also learned how to create a containerized application using Docker and use an AWS server with a website, which are all really cool things that we can now put on our resume. So are we experts? No, but we've opened to so many different possibilities, and we've dipped our toes into a new part of the internet blockchain. All of this in just 10 weeks.
But our main takeaway out of the project, in the illustrious words of Alex Duffy, un éléphant, ça se mange une bouchée à la fois. If you want to eat an elephant, eat it piece by piece. A philosophy we have followed throughout our project. While it may have seemed extremely daunting at first, we approached it piece by piece and managed to all make something we're really proud of.
All right, so before we go into the actual demo, let me quickly share our Figma and our Notion page. So this is a quick look at our Figma and how we designed everything. And this is where we were able to brainstorm all of our designs. And then here's our Notion, and it looks very clean at first, but if you open all the toggles, you'll see how much research we've done and all the pages we have. So it's really amazing to have a place where we can put all of that stuff. So I'll pass it off to Kai to quickly talk about the GitHub and then go to a demo.
Okay, so here, let me do a quick overview of our GitHub. So here I have the GitHub open. We can see our projects. We have split it into different apps. So this is our front end. This is our API. This is where we start all of our endpoints, and this is where we update our database. And here's a quick look at our README. Tells you some information about what our application is and how to set it up. But I think what you've all been waiting for is this demo. Okay. Hope everybody can see it. So here's our demo. This is really what we've been culminating to. And I think I'm passing off to Pierre to explain this homepage, this landing page.
Yeah, so my name is actually Pierre. Just kidding, my name is Justin. So this is our homepage. Here on the landing page, you can see trending collections, right? So here we have a list of all the trending collections in the past hour. So we have the floor, which if you hover over the icon, we can see that it's actually the minimum price in Ethereum of an NFT sold during this interval. We have the average, which is basically the average of Ethereum price. We have the volume, which is kind of like the total sales sold, and then we have sales, which is number of NFTs sold, each individual NFT sold. And then if you look closely, we also have a 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 1-day, 3-day interval. And so this basically allows you to see these pieces of data in different time intervals. So you want to see like a most recent transaction, go to 5 minutes. You want to see a more general, broader view, go to 3 days. And one thing I want to note too is we see this last updated sentence here. So basically our server or our front end is constantly calling our server to get the most recent transaction or most recent data to display on this website. And then in the search bar, we can search for any NFT collection you want. So yeah, let's go to Little Baby Ape Club, I guess.
Yeah, so if you find, so what happens once you find that NFT that you're interested in, that's piqued your interest, you think it's going to look good, what are you going to do now? So we have the Little Baby Ape Club here, and we actually have links to their official website, and we also have links to their OpenSea and their Etherscan. OpenSea is where you can actually go to buy the NFT if you really believe in it, and Etherscan is where you can get lots more data about blockchain things. So here we have a short description, but this is really what we're going to be looking at. So here we have all the statistics from before in these compartmentalized boxes, so we can see the average over 3 days, any interval we pick. And we also have a percentiles right here. We tell you what percent of collections this beats given the average or the volume of the sales. And this really puts it into perspective. Is this a good collection? Is this a bad collection? And then here we have our sleek graphs. And this is how we get that big picture view, right? Is it going up? Is it going down? And we have a lot of access to different time intervals. So if you want to see it for a month, we want to see over 10 minutes. And we also have access to all the aforementioned statistics. So we can see the total volume, the average price, the floor price. And we can also see those total sales, and also individual sales, which plots the time and the price of each transaction. So now we're going to go to the counts page with Nathan.
Yeah, I can take over. So you can, as you can see all the wallet addresses of the different buyers and sellers of NFT collections, and you can sort them by the number of sales or the volume of those purchases and transactions. Let's go over to the compare page.
Just one note before that, actually. This is really our first step into what we like to call whale statistics. So whales are really those NFT buyers who are very experienced in the field. They know what NFTs are trending. They know what NFTs are going to do well. And our goal is to put how many whales have invested in an NFT next to each collection as a ways of validating what is good and what is bad. So here we have our collection compare page.
Finally, we have the compare page, which allows you to compare individual collections if the homepage is too overwhelming. Each stat is going to be shown. If it's the lowest, it's going to be in red. If it's the highest, it's going to be in green. So it allows you to easily figure out which collections are going to be worth more investing in. We also have time intervals for this period.
And real quick, we did add additional features to make our user experience better. If you go back to the home page, you can see how we have up and down percentiles. And this really allows users to, look at if a collection is going up or down. And if you go to a collection info page, you'll actually see that we have percentiles relating to other collections. And this allows users, again, to see how collections are doing relating to other collections on the market. So we'll go to the About page real quick. The About Us page, okay. Yeah, so real quick, this is our About page, super simple, but it's our team. And yeah, so that is our website. Thank you guys so much for listening. There is going to be a Medium article coming out, so be sure to look at that when we post it. But yeah, other than that, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. And yeah.
What's up?
Wait, sorry, I have one more thing to add. Actually, this website, you can access it. I'll drop the link in the chat. It's deployed. You can use it. There's one note though. OpenSea, the API actually has been down for the past few days, and so the information you'll see on the website isn't 100% up to date. But you can access it. You can play around with it, and once that's back and running, all the statistics will be accurate.
Awesome.